Cocoa, in its natural and minimally processed form, is actually one of the most bioactive plant foods available. Cocoa beans are rich in flavonols, polyphenol, magnesium, and compounds that support blood flow, cognitive function, and cardiovascular health. Traditionally, cocoa was consumed as a bitter, lightly processed beverage or paste, valued more for its physiological effects than for sweetness. The problem is that cocoa's natural bitterness makes it commercially challenging, and this single characteristic has driven it rapidly and almost inevitably into the ultra-processed food category. To make cocoa widely palatable, industrial processing dramatically alters both its structure and its nutritional context. After fermentation and roasting, cocoa is typically separated into cocoa solids and cocoa butter. From there, manufacturers recombine these components with large amounts of added sugar, refined fats, and emulsifiers to produce chocolate bars, coatings, drink powders, and baked goods. Sugar is not a minor addition. In many chocolate products, it is the primary ingredient by weight. This overwhelms cocoa's natural polyphenol and shifts the product from a functional plant food to a sugar-dominant confection. Refined fats further intensify cocoa's transformation. While cocoa butter itself is relatively stable, many chocolate products incorporate additional vegetable oils or modify fat ratios to improve texture, shelf life, and melting behavior. Emulsifiers such as soy lecithin or polyglycerol polyresinolate are added to create smoothness and prevent separation. These changes increase calorie density and make chocolate easier to consume in large quantities without triggering satiety. What was once a bitter, self-limiting food becomes a soft, melt-in-the-mouth product designed for overconsumption. Powdered chocolate drinks are particularly misleading. Often marketed as comforting or even nutritious, these products may contain only a small fraction of actual cocoa, with the majority made up of sugar, maltodextrin, flavorings, and stabilizers. When mixed with milk or water, they deliver liquid calories that are absorbed rapidly, providing minimal fullness. Regular intake contributes to excess sugar consumption, insulin spikes, and dental erosion, especially in children. Cocoa-based cookies, cakes, and snack foods represent the furthest departure from cocoa's original benefits. In these products, cocoa functions more as a flavoring and colorant than as a meaningful source of antioxidants. High-heat baking and extrusion further degrade flavonols, while refined flour, sugars, and industrial fats dominate the nutritional profile. The presence of cocoa creates a health or indulgence justification, masking the reality that these foods behave metabolically like any other ultra-processed snack. Another important concern is portion distortion. Natural cocoa is intense and bitter, limiting intake. Ultra-processed chocolate products remove this natural break by balancing sweetness, fat, and texture to achieve maximum palatability. This combination activates reward pathways in the brain, encouraging habitual consumption and making moderation difficult. Over time, frequent intake of cocoa-based ultra-processed foods contributes to weight gain, dysregulated appetite, and metabolic stress, even though cocoa itself is often associated with health benefits. The most significant warning is the illusion created by cocoa's reputation. Because cocoa is linked to antioxidants and heart health, many consumers assume that chocolate products inherit these properties. In reality, the level of processing and the dominance of sugar and refined fats determine the health impact, not the presence of cocoa flavor. In most commercial products, cocoa's beneficial compounds are diluted, degraded, or overshadowed by additives. Cocoa itself remains a valuable and potentially protective food when used in small amounts and minimally processed forms, such as unsweetened cocoa powder or high cocoa dark chocolate with minimal ingredients. The danger lies in how easily cocoa is transformed into ultra-processed, calorie-dense products that function more like candy than like a plant-based antioxidant source. Without awareness, cocoa shifts from a bitter, bioactive ingredient into a driver of sugar excess and ultra-processed calorie intake, undermining health while borrowing credibility from its natural origins.